Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here. I just got a new pistol to add to my collection. This is a Ruger P89, part of the P series. Let's make sure it's unloaded. Nothing in the mag, nothing in the chamber. It only came with one 10-round magazine. I also picked up a couple of these Metgar nickel-plated 17-round magazines, and they go in and they fit flush. So got 3 mags total for it. I got this off of Gunbroker, and here's the safety decocker. Got this off of Gunbroker for the highest bid of $256, which is a pretty good deal. I think, of course, you have your shipping and FFL fees, bringing it up to right about $300, which is still a pretty good deal for this gun. It does have a little bit of wear, as you can see on the slide. The camera probably doesn't pick it up as well as your eye does, but you got some scratches along the side, scuffs, some down here. Just kind of normal wear and tear from the holster. Also, there's some like red paint or something in the mag release on both sides, so I don't know what that's about, but it's not really a big deal. Again, 10-round magazine. Normal capacity magazines are 15 rounds, and I'll probably get a couple more of those, maybe even a couple more of these. I kind of like these. I haven't shot it yet. I just actually picked this up, brought it home about 10 minutes ago. Just thought I'd show it to you. And of course, it has ambidextrous controls. Mag release is a slide forward. It's not a push button, it's a slide forward, and it's on both sides. You can activate it with your finger just fine. I actually really like that. Some people don't like that, but I actually really like this magazine release. It's a single action, or a double action, single action. So first shot is double action, and all the other shots are single action. Safety decocker, of course, like I showed earlier. They did make this in a decocker only model where both sides would look like this, and it would just be a decocker. You just press it down and it would come back up after the gun was decocked. But I mean, I really don't mind whether or not it's a decocker model or a decocker safety model. What I don't like is the double action only models of the P series. I just don't understand double action only in a full size gun like this. To me, double action only is something for concealed carry, and this is not concealed carry. This is a good woods gun, a good open carry gun, and just a good range gun. So that's really what I bought this for. Has a 4.5 inch barrel, so pretty good size barrel. Not quite as long as a 1911, but still pretty good size barrel. My Smith & Wesson has a 4-inch barrel, I believe. So it's a little bit longer than that. And of course, the standard capacity is the same. So the grip is, it's pretty much the same size grip. It's a pretty big, heavy, chunky gun, and a lot of people criticize the P series for that, but I really don't criticize the P series at all. The only thing I really have a complaint on is the fact that there are no slide serrations. You pretty much just have to grab the safety decocker and use that as your slide serration or your grip to cock the gun. Let's see, what else? The slide catch, of course, is right here. It's a pretty good size slide catch, slide release. It's only on one side because of the way it takes down, which is perfectly fine for me because I'm right-handed. It comes with these, this particular one came with these Packmeyer grips. which is really interesting because usually when you buy one of these guns, it either comes with factory grips, which I prefer. I'm actually going to order me some. Or it'll come with those big, ugly Hogue wraparound grips with the finger grooves. Those are pretty popular with these guns. I really don't like those. I'm not a really big fan of big, rubber grips, at least on semi-automatic pistols. But these are not bad. I mean, they actually feel pretty good. I'm pretty indifferent about these, but I still prefer the look of the factory grips. I prefer my grips to either be factory or wood, which I was actually kind of considering putting some wood grips on this and putting some Ruger medallions, up here. I thought that would look pretty cool, but I think I'm going to stick with factory grips for the time being. And who knows? Maybe I'll switch back and forth between these and the factory grips. They do feel, pretty good in the hand. Of course, I haven't shot it yet, so I'll have to go out and do that. But of course, the P series is a pretty reliable series of handguns, and I have no doubt that it's going to be a pretty reliable handgun. Anyway, I bought this gun because, number one, I was wanting another. I was kind of wanting another 9mm handgun. I was really wanting a one for concealed carry, but back before I even started buying handguns, when I was like 18, 19, 20, in that area of my life, when I was considering getting my first handgun and what to get, I was going back and forth between a lot of different guns, and I always came back to the Ruger P series. And I really liked the P89 because it had the full length barrel. It was a 9mm, so it was a 15+1. I really liked the stainless steel two-tone. I guess it's kind of two-tone. Technically it is two-tone, but there were other models that were just black on black, and this is the frame is aluminum, so it's not stainless steel or blued steel or anything like that. It's aluminum, but it does have a nice two-tone look to it. Anyway, I really was wanting to get a Ruger P89 as my first 9mm handgun, or my first handgun in general. But of course, the story goes that I came across a good deal through a coworker for my Smith & Wesson 5904, so I ended up getting that instead. That was $250, so not too much of a price difference, but still, it was a good deal for a face-to-face transaction. And then, of course, I got a couple other handguns, my Chiappa, which I sold, and also my my Taurus 85. And then, recently I just kind of fell back in love with the P series. Over the years I've kind of come and gone with liking them, and I eventually just came back to the conclusion that if I didn't get a P series in the near future, that I probably wasn't going to get one because they would get harder and harder to find. Not that they're hard to find, but they would get harder to find as the years go on, and then the prices would go up, and the prices are pretty good right now. So anyway, that's why I bought this gun, and quite honestly, I'm considering getting a Ruger P944, which is a 40 caliber P series, and then also a P90, which is basically the same gun, only 45, and it's got a single stack magazine, kind of like a 1911. But I'm considering getting those two handguns to kind of complete the caliber, 3 calibers for the Ruger P series. So yeah, that's my new Ruger P89. Can't wait to take this to the range, put a couple boxes of ammunition through it. I'm sure it's going to perform pretty well. Don't know how accurate it'll be, but it'll perform pretty well. I was going to let me show you the takedown here real quick. Of course, you got to make sure it's empty and drop the magazine out. And inside here you have your ejector. Push the ejector down. Release the slide. Of course, since the ejector is down, it'll decock itself automatically, and you just got to push it back ever so slightly. Oop. And push the pin out. On some of the models, I think some of the later models, it actually has some lines that you have to line up, but this one doesn't. This is probably an earlier model. And just, pull the pin out and then pull the slide off. Set this aside. This doesn't come out like it does on a P95 or some of those models. And then you just pull your spring out. Well, the spring kind of gets caught up in here. You just kind of got to pull it out. And there's your spring and your guide rod. And then, of course, your barrel has the 1911 style drop link system. And then, of course, your slide. So very simple to take down. I find it quite a bit easier than my Smith & Wesson 59 series. That's actually kind of a pain compared to this. This is really simple. And then, of course, reassembly is the opposite. Make sure that your drop link is up and the little thing for the guide rod sits in there. Put the slide back on. Push it back just a little bit. And then push your pin in. And then for the ejector, just stick the magazine in, and the ejector's back up, and you're back in business. So yeah, that's the Ruger P89. I'll do some shooting videos with this sometime. I always say I'm going to do shooting videos, but then it never ends up happening in the near future. But yeah, I'll do some other videos with this. This will show up in a few other videos that I plan to do, and of course some shooting videos as well. But yeah, that's the Ruger P89. So far, I love it. Subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.